Hello, fellow entrepreneurs, and this is a quick presentation by Aubrey Backscheider about Google Maps and Google My Business for entrepreneurs and how it can help grow your business. A quick introduction to my background. I studied information systems at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. We currently live in Cincinnati, where my husband grew up. But in between now and then, I've also worked for IBM, the University of Michigan, Zell Lurie Entrepreneurial Institute, and of course lots of volunteer IT work. I've managed quite a few websites and started a few companies here and there while we were living overseas before diving into search engine optimization and running a part-time research company. In between all of that, we've managed to live quite a few places and picked up a lot of information and knowledge and life experiences for our kids, which was great. My favorite quote is, "The point of life is to discover your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away." So here's the beginning of my local guides journey. Back in 2013, while we were traveling, even before that, I started adding stuff to Maps, Google Maps, because I had taken so many pictures and I thought, what am I going to do with 30,000 photos of all these places we had been? Clearly, I'm not going to print them all, but somebody has a use for them. So I started adding them to Maps, and quickly they started getting lots of hits. You know, people, when they search for a place on Maps, it pulls up a picture right away. And every time someone searches for them and looks at that picture, that counts as a view count. So I kind of started noticing how helpful the data was, and the fact that Google would send tips on what was popular around you in order to add pictures to help gain visibility. After adding 24,000 photos, 2,400 photos at this point, I am the highest contributor for Maps in Cincinnati. Yes, I've added quite a few. So you can see here some of the information. It shows you the hit counts of different photos you've added, which can provide you an indicator as to popularity on Google Maps. So here you can see where I photographed an express store up in Liberty Way. There was no picture on Maps whatsoever of this place. It had just opened back in June, and between June and now you can see the number of hits that it has grown, you know, more than 5 times what it started with in just 1 month. So this gives you a good indicator as to how many people are searching for that store and hitting on it and checking it out, versus something like Forever 21, how many hits they're getting in a month. It just kind of gives you a little insight as to what places could really use marketing more than others. So why is it important to list your business on Google Maps? Because over 1 billion people use Maps every single day, and those billion people are performing more than one search on Maps. So it's definitely one of the highest sites on the web with traffic-wise. So when searching for a service, over half the people that leave their house are using Google Maps. And creating a listing is free, so there's no reason why you couldn't add your business. And we'll dive into some of the insight later. But here you can see the traffic flow, Facebook versus Google Maps, for a very popular yoga studio in our neighborhood, where you can see, 1,300 people like Move Your High Power Yoga on Facebook, and they have followers, and that's great. And then you move over to a picture that I added of their site, and it has over 31,000 hits. So clearly there's a lot more traffic being generated on Google Maps finding Move Your High Power Yoga than Facebook. And they had not even added a picture to Google Maps, but they did add one to Facebook, ironically. So you can see it's just a lot of people are just missing the mark on where they should be spending their time on high-level quality photography. Definitely on Maps. Remember that, always on Maps. So here's another example of a custom website that we spend adding for the PTA of the school where my kids went to school, that I managed for a couple years. And you can see here the page view count for the entire website in Google Analytics. In a 1 year time period from 2016 to 2017, we had 42,000 visitors versus a picture that I added to Maps in the exact same time period. We had 44,000 visitors to that picture, and that's just one of many pictures. So I'm sure that the count for how many people are searching for Kilgore is even higher. But again, this is the first impression people are getting of you as a business when they click on it and they search for you and they find that photo. That's kind of an important thing to have correctly branded, because there's a lot of businesses out there, let me tell you, that do not have any photos whatsoever. So the top 11 factors that drive Google search results. We have 1, the proximity of address to a point of a search, obviously. And these factors change every single year. Google revises them and they come out with a new top 10 or top 30 list every single year. So you just have to kind of go back and make sure that you're staying relevant. Obviously, your location is going to drive the #1 factor of your search result. But as you can see highlighted here, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 things on here related to Google Maps driving your business showing up in a search result when people are looking for, let's say, a plumber or a babysitter or a dog walker, which is really important. Therefore, having a Google Maps business listing is essential for your business to even get noticed. So what are the pitfalls of listing on Google Maps? Obviously, there are privacy concerns when listing a private residence. I know a lot of people that do work out of their home legitimately, such as music teachers, tutors, painters, artists. So many people do. It's just maybe you don't want to list your house as where you're actually working, which is fine. There's a negative impact if you receive a poor review or photo. People worry about that hurting their business, but we're going to address that in the next slide. Spammers calling your phone number, that does happen once it's listed on Maps, but I wouldn't say it's totally inconvenient. Lots of cellular service providers actually notify you if it's a spammer versus a legitimate caller. There is additional work to maintain a listing, kind of like having a website. That's just part of the marketing gimmick. It goes with it, but it's not too much. I'd rather spend my time where people are actually visiting my business versus where they're not. Google Maps does not come installed on iPhones by default, so we are missing a segment of the market, people that use iOS versus Android. Okay, so let's create our listing. First, you're going to download My Business and input your business listing info. As you can see here, we created one for Cincinnati Virtual Media Company, and kind of you can see the default stuff that's on there on the side by adding a post or a photo, and then you can find insight on your business. After you download the app, you can wait 3 to 5 days for your postcard to arrive in the mail, and it will give you a PIN, and from there you can use the PIN to verify your business. You can apply the PIN to a Google My Business app and add media content. So once the PIN arrives, just open your app back up and put it in. Then you can start adding photos. That's where the fun begins. And get customers that you've helped out to leave reviews on how you've helped them. And this is a big part of being able to show up frequently, having customers constantly reviewing you and adding pictures of your business. That's very, very helpful. And furthermore, the insight in the app will show you where people are looking for you, whether it's on Maps or in Google search. Last but not least, there's additional steps you'll be able to take to increase your search rankings, such as paying for AdWords and other things listed on the Google Partners YouTube page that I will give you the address at the end. So here we have a business that was not listed before that I added to Maps, Empowering Counseling and Therapy. So I added it. It was a friend of mine that owns it, and she is not a technically savvy person. So I said, I'll do it for you. So I added it, and here you can see she was able to claim her business with a little claim my business check mark. That was great. So now she can manage it, add pictures, add client reviews, so on and so forth. Wonderful. Once you're in the Google My Business app, you can see, like I said before, how people are finding you, whether they're searching for you directly by name or they're finding you in discovery mode when searching for a photographer. Down here at the bottom, it'll show you again numbers related to maps and search and how many people are looking for you. And then at the very, very bottom, you can see where it says customer actions. It'll show you how many people are calling you or visiting your website or looking at your photos. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, people are looking at your photos more than anything. So you need to make sure that is a solid representation of your business. Okay, so here we have some tips for giving and gathering reviews. And this is just real brief. Consider 1 star for each of the following, cleanliness, friendliness, timeliness, quality of service, and is it a place you would return or recommend to your friends? Once your business is on Google Maps, share the link with all of your clients. Get it out there to let them leave a review and let them know how much you value their input. When you're reviewing someone, stick to positive facts that will help future customers. That's really, really helpful, such as is there parking there? Is there handicap access? Do kids eat free? Anything that will help someone that's coming to that place. Facts are always, always good. And replying to reviews, also good or bad, shows that you value customer input. And if you have nothing nice to say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can always leave a picture of your food or anything. Okay, tips for adding photos. Branding photos are good, but not as popular as a location photo. It's generally better not to include people in the pictures. In fact, if I see people in pictures of businesses, I report them because it's just sometimes people spam, so that's not good. Nobody wants to see pictures of a selfie or a dog for a restaurant they're going to. So product photos are a must, especially restaurants. Try to always add food when you can. If you provide services, a picture of yourself or a team is very good. Retail locations, real estate, hotels, public buildings do best with a really good tour, especially if people are looking to rent your space, such as like wedding venues. Okay, here's an example of a great listing. It's called Path and Post Real Estate. And you can see down here at the bottom, they have 16 reviews, 4.7 stars. It looks like they're doing pretty good. So the owner of the business has added branding photos such as East Cobb, Woodstock, Marietta, and he makes them look really uniform. He had a good photographer here. And he also added his little trademark logo. And so you can see he's worked really hard on getting this Maps listing to look professional for customers. And then in here you can see, some people have left good reviews, but then there was also one bad one. And the owner responded, which was the right thing to do. And said, please call us. We're always here to help. And so you can't control the reviews that every single person leaves, obviously. But if somebody does leave a bad review, this is a very important thing to do. Go back and it shows that you care about your customer service. So if there's any questions or you found this presentation helpful, considering visiting Cincy360.com and leaving a positive review. And if you're still interested in learning more, you can also visit the Google Partners YouTube page. There's plenty of videos out there. Thanks for watching.